What's up, everybody? I'm Clayton. Welcome back to my movie review channel. And today we are taking a look at Mission Impossible Part 5, baby. Rogue Nation. Yes, that's right. This is the next movie in our MI review series that we're working on right now. Going through all the films, checking them out, reviewing them. You know what's up. Got a couple more in the series, and then we'll do a ranking video and then move on to what we've got next on the schedule, on the calendar. Got a couple other reviews I want to do, and then move into our fall and October Halloween season for reviews. I got something lined up. I might pivot, but we'll kind of play it by ear and see how it goes. But today is your lucky day because you're watching my review of Rogue Nation. Rogue Nation. All right, so let's get into it. Just as a reminder, this is just my opinion on the movie. If you feel differently about it, it's totally cool. Just be respectful. All right. So, Mission Impossible Part 5 Rogue Nation, released in 2015, starring, of course, Tom Cruise. We got Rebecca Ferguson in this one. Simon Pegg coming back. Jeremy Renner coming back. Ving Rhames coming back. The whole crew is here. You know what it is. And this time we have Sean Harris stepping in to play the antagonist character of Solomon Lane. Yes. Start with the positives, move into the negatives, and let's get rolling. So, positives with MI5. A lot of positives here. All right. I really like this movie. I remember seeing it in theaters, and I remember walking out. I think I saw it the first time I saw it in theaters. I think I actually saw it with my cousin Ryan, who I believe I was visiting him in Maine at the time, and I think we went to see this movie. I think it was in theaters at the time. We went to check it out. I remember leaving the theaters thinking, I think that's my favorite one. I think that's my favorite in my movie. So obviously we've got a couple more coming out that have come out since, Part 6, and then the newest one, Death Reckoning, that's, I believe, still in theaters. So yeah, but watching it back for this review, I gotta say my opinion and my thoughts on this one have not changed. All right, I love this movie. This is a great movie, great action movie. This movie to me is the total package when it comes to the Mission Impossible franchise. It has all the elements that I love in a Mission Impossible movie. It's got the action, it's got great set pieces and stunt work, stunt effects. It's got a great story to it, a great narrative. It's got great plot. It's got great characters. It's got great humor. It's got a good antagonist. It's got all the bangers there, man. It is a great MI movie. Speaking about antagonists, that's been one of my criticisms through some of these Mission Impossible movies. I think the only MI film that had, in my opinion, a legitimate antagonist was MI3, with Philip Seymour Hoffman playing Owen Davian in that movie. I think up to this point, he was easily the best antagonist so far. I think the antagonist from 2 was decent, but I wasn't big on the antagonist from Part 4, and the one from the first one just seemed like he didn't even want to be in the movie. So yeah, I do like Solomon Lane though as an antagonist. I do think he holds up really well. I think he's one of the best antagonists easily in this franchise. I don't know that I would put him quite to the level of Owen in MI3, but he's close. I think him and Owen are definitely the two best antagonists so far through these first 5 movies. So, but it's got a strong antagonist, is my point. In MI5, it's got a legitimate antagonist who gives a good, Sean Harris gives a good performance as Solomon. He's an intense, entertaining character. I'm invested in him when he's on screen. I'm glued in to what he's doing. So yeah, good antagonist for this movie. It's got great action, especially the opening scene where Tom Cruise was literally hanging off an aircraft. Great opening action scene. Great action scenes throughout the chase where they were in. Where were they in? Was it in Russia? No, it wasn't in Russia. It was the scene with the bikes, the motorcycles, and the car flip, all that stuff. This movie has great action in it, no doubt about it. Great action set pieces. I think it's shot really well. Cinematography is good. I like the score in this one. Sound effects, top notch. All of that is, all of those things are really strong positives for me in this one. I like Cruise in this one too. I think Cruise, he gives a really good performance in this one. I think outside of MI3, this is probably Cruise's best performance as Ethan Hunt through these first 5 movies. So I really like what he brings to the character in this one. I think there's just small subtleties that he brings to the character in this one that are important, but they're effective. When it comes to emotion or thinking on the spot, or just certain things that Cruise does with a character that I think add layers to Ethan. So I really like Cruise's performance in this one. I think Simon Pegg as Benji, this is his best performance as Benji in this one. He definitely has an emotional scene where he's got to bring it, and he does. Jeremy Renner, I think he's always fantastic. I love me some Jeremy Renner as Brant. I think he's good in this movie. Ving Rhames as Luther is good, and I think Rebecca Ferguson was a good addition to this film too. She's really good in her role, and I think she does a really good job in this movie as well. She holds up well when she's in scenes with Cruise or Simon Pegg or Sean Harris. She holds up, and that's not easy to do for a female actor who is on screen with such dominant presence from the male actors. When you have guys like Tom Cruise, when you have guys like Sean Harris, Simon Pegg, who are very strong, dominant presence on screen, they can easily kind of outshine or dominate the scene. And for Rebecca Ferguson to hold up with those guys on screen when she's in scenes with them says a lot about her. So I think she doesn't get overshadowed or outshined or outperformed here. I think she goes beat for beat with all of them. So I think she does a really good job here, and her character I think is really well written. She's legit, man. I mean, she's I think they even say that like she's deadly. Like she can hold her own, and I like that addition, that character for this film. So yeah, she's a strong positive for me. I think she gives a good performance. I like the character. I like that by now we have a team together. We have an established team for this MI group, and I think they work really well together. Alec Baldwin is also really good. He's in this movie. I've got to mention him. I think he does a really good job. He's not really the antagonist, but he plays the like the MI, the head of the MI, no, CIA. He plays the chief of the CIA headquartered group of people, and he plays that typical Alec Baldwin, just annoying, for lack of better ways to phrase it. He plays a really annoying, high status guy in a company that everyone just doesn't like, to put it to put it that way, to put it gently. Yeah, but he does kind of come around. He does have his kind of arc and redemption at the end of the film. But yeah, throughout this movie, he kind of creates plot among the MI team members. But yeah, he's really good. I like him in the movie. I think he's also kind of a dominant presence, and also I think brings a lot to that character. So I liked him in the film as well. Yeah, did a really good film, man. I like I like how Solomon Lane presents a different type of challenge to Ethan. He's always like that one step ahead of Ethan. Intellectually, he can kind of match Ethan in intelligence. Like, and he just has that very cold face, that, like, a lot like Philip Seymour Hoffman's character in MI3. He's not intimidated by Ethan. He's not, he knows that he can outsmart Ethan, that he's always one step ahead of Ethan. That creates good tension. That creates good plot. And then, the situation that he puts Benji in, and Ethan, makes it adds a personal layer to the rivalry, to the protagonist versus antagonist conflict there. So I think he also makes the threat personal to Ethan, kidnapping Benji and putting him in the situation that he does. So that character is just really well written, because anyone will tell you that at the end of the day, the protagonist is only as good as his antagonist. And if the antagonist is weak, the protagonist isn't going to seem as strong as he could be. But I think here we really get to see the best of Ethan in this movie, because he's got a really good, really strong antagonist character to work against, to work off of. So, yeah, I liked how Solomon Kane is always like that one step ahead of Ethan, and it takes literally the entire team to come together to take him out. So, yeah, really good movie. Really love this one. As far as negatives go, the only real negative that I have is, this is going to kind of sound contradictory, but let me explain, is with Sean Harris's character of Solomon Lane, his voice, for whatever reason, I don't know why, because the character is really well written, and I think Sean Harris gives a good performance, but for whatever reason, man, his voice is like so annoying to me. Y'all know what I mean? Like, have y'all ever seen like certain actors or know certain people? They just have something about them that is just annoying. Whether it's their face, whether it's their voice, whether it's certain antics that they do. To me, Sean Harris's voice as Solomon Lane is just so annoying to me. That's a negative. I wish they could have just somehow like edited his voice to make it like a Darth Vader voice or something. I don't know, something cool, But yeah, that's a negative for me, man. I just, his voice, man, just annoys the crap out of me. So yeah, that's really the only real negative I have with this movie. There's nothing else. I mean, it's not a perfect movie. there are objective flaws with the movie that I could go through and point out. But again, I don't rate these movies based on the objective quality of them. I base it on my personal enjoyment and viewing experience with the film. And I have a very high viewing experience with MI5. So my overall rating here is 4.5 stars for Rogue Nation. I love this movie. It's a great film. So far through the first 5, it is my favorite. I think it's, like I said, like I mentioned, it's got everything that I want a Mission Impossible movie to have is in this movie. It's got all of it. This is the most well-rounded Mission Impossible film, and I love that. So yeah, that's really it, man. Not many negatives. Just that one real main one that's just always there. But yeah, so that's it. That's all I got to say on MI5. Let me know what y'all think. Give me y'all's thoughts and y'all's opinion on this movie. Is this y'all's favorite MI movie? Let me know in the comment section. And yeah, thanks for watching. Till next time, as always, kick it and rock on.